Good evening, everyone. It's Rebecca with Red True Crime. It is a Wednesday evening, and more on the Chicago attack. So, no one's been arrested so far. At least nothing's been publicly stated that anyone's been arrested. But over the last 24 hours, more information has been trickling out, and it's sad. It's very, very sad. So, good news is the mom and her kids have been moved out of their apartment, out of that school district. They've been moved to a house. They're safe. A whole lot of celebrities and a whole lot of community organizations have come out to give them support because no matter what, these kids have been literally traumatized by this attack, by their mother's attack with these kids. And if you need a reminder of what these children did, give me one moment and I will put that on here for you, so you know what I'm talking about. And we're gonna fast forward through this because we don't need to hear all the you see a bunch of kids ganging up on the mom, making fun of her ankles. And then it gets to the
look at them bitches, Greg. Crackhead.
You see her son crying.
Other bitch, Lauren. What's that?
There they go. Now I want to case in point. We start. This is very important. Why I'm replaying. Okay, to the kids, do the thing, and then you see the first kid that lays hands on the mom. Got to come up.
Not the big kids. The big kids not touching them. I'm saying the little ones would smash that bitch in my bro.
That girl right there with the headphones.
Damn!
Punching. There we go. All right. Now that particular young lady, her family made her do an apology. And here it is right here.
Kamira.
Oh, sorry.
She is one of the children that was a part of the fight at OT Bright School on yesterday. We're just coming live so she can say her piece and take accountability. I won't say too much. And please, anyone that decides to say anything, keep it respectful. This is the child.
First thing that kind of ticked me off with this was that woman saying, keep it respectful. This is a child. Yes, it is a child, but and however, that child tried to act like a grown ass individual. So that's a problem. That's a huge problem. So, but we're going to get back to this video.
Hey, my name is Kamira Grant, and I was wrong for everything.
It's okay, Kamira.
For everything that I did, and I was just being a follower, following everybody who don't even got nothing that I got. And I apologize for everything because I wouldn't want to be in that situation. And I feel bad because
It's okay.
I gotta go through so much. I wish I would never did what I did.
Do you have anything to say? I think her name is Shauna.
I was a bit Um, people think
Okay. So I see this apology last night, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a start. You know, kids are starting to apologize and whatnot, and there's quite a few people out there that are not hearing it. They're just not. They're like, you still need your rear end beat and all this. People saying what they say. And I was feeling for this girl. I really was. I was thinking it was sincere. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was peer pressure, whatever. I watched that video and I did hear the kid taking actually this is the kid. This is our filmographer right here. Um I did hear him say, "You go over there and you do this." Like he directed her. So, but it wasn't like he held a gun to her head. And I was feeling kind of bad for her. I really was, and whatnot. But then mom, oh, her lovely mother, made this statement. And that is her right there. Yes, St. Patrick. Now I don't know what her real name is, but that's her. Maybe it might be Jasmine, but that's her right there. And she says, "Let me say this. First, my daughter is a great ass kid. She's a AB student, captain of the cheerleading team, ahead of her class, and some more shit. All good things from every teacher. If you know, you know. You don't owe nobody an apology, but that lady and her kids to okay, hold on. I gotta put my glasses on. I can't read squat without my glasses. All right. So let's see here. All good things from every teacher. If you know, you know. We don't owe nobody, and she put nobody in caps, an apology, but that lady and her kids. So all y'all grown MFs looking for a viral moment, please shut the F up because kids are gonna be kids, and it's kids out here that did way worse shit. Let alone I think she meant to say let alone, but it says let along y'all butts when y'all was 12 and 13-year-old butts used to be out there beating up crackheads and all. Okay, I'm gonna comment on that here in a second. You don't know us all. She was peer pressured. If you know my family, you know we don't if we find a friend in a MF and we're gonna stand behind them 100% no matter what, blah, 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 blah. But she kept saying, "We don't owe you all an apology." So, let me say that. Everything was pretty I thought the kid was being sincere to a degree until I saw that. And then she's like, "When you all were out there beating up crackheads." Now, let me say this. I'm not young. My childhood was in the '80s, my teenage years was the '90s. Um, I dare say I think I missed the day, go beat up a crackhead day in school. We didn't do that. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who really did that, so I'm not sure what the hell she's talking about. But this kid has to understand. In Mr. Photography Boy here has to understand that when you took that video and you upload it to the internet for the world to see, you put yourself out there to be judged in a sense. I mean, that's what social media does. It, puts you out. I mean, it puts you out in front of the world to be judged, whether you want to or not, but you chose to do that. They chose to go after Karshana Hatter, Karshana Hatter, and her kids. They chose to film it. They chose to release it to the internet, to the world. All they did was give a jury complete evidence that these kids are ill-behaved, ill-mannered, ill-tempered people, and are on a path to be ill-mannered, ill-tempered adults. That's all they did, you know? Because this is all going to go in front of a family judge. It has to. Because what they did was assault. Yes, they're kids, but they assaulted an adult. Now, if Karshana Hatter had decided to get a knife out and stab a couple of kids, in defense, or she got a gun and started shooting at these kids, then all of a sudden she'd be wrong because, "Oh, they're just kids. What are you doing?" But these kids were stomping the hell out of her, beating up her kids. Anybody else would, I think, would have defended themselves, because I mean, I've seen enough, um, viral videos here today, TikTok, whatnot, everybody giving their opinion on this case, and, everyone's like, "I wish a mother, would," Um, yeah. So, anyway, I was feeling slightly bad for her until I came across this particular TikTok lady, and she's been covering it, and she was like, "Hey, they've done this before," and I'm like, "What?" So, let me show that.
You said y'all, they done jumped us on. They have. My door still broke. My window still busted out from them doing these the same kids.
We'll start this over. So, this particular TikTok, this woman's talking about the case, and then she's showing a video of a woman showing her phone at the protest at the school yesterday. Now, that phone is showing a video that was, it looks like it was taken back in the summer, or at least at the beginning of the school year when it was still warm, because these kids are all wearing short sleeve shirts, and I know it's not 70 degrees in Chicago right now. But, you'll see it, and you see what it's the same kids.
While she was outside rallying for the mom with sickle cell. I cannot make this up, and even if I could make this up, I wouldn't. Now, I can't play the video because the video is too graphic, but I'm gonna let y'all hear it in the background.
That's all I can think about.
But you live in housing,
pay
so what
attention
is
to the
housing
phone.
doing?
You said
Y'all,
they
they done jumped us on.
They have. My door still broke. My window still busted out from them doing these the same
You see them just stomping the hell
The
out of
window
her.
still gone? Okay, we got the flood housing.
Yeah, they're just stomping.
Oh my God!
When I say they left him for dead, guess what? They left him for dead.
Oh my God!
More kids
Same
running
one
up,
the way
running
they got
off.
that they arrested. That's all in here.
They stopping him in his face.
Yeah.
What the
Look at
heck?
that. Just laying there.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So I was feeling like, okay, they're kids, maybe got out of hand, whatever, until I saw that. These kids have done this before. These kids are serial assaulters. They've never been made to feel consequences for anything they've done. And the parents are adding to this because they're just talking crap. Now, I saw another parent, the mother of one of the boys that was involved in this. She did a TikTok and I couldn't find it to record it to put it on here. But you see her looking in it and you see her son in the background. And she was like, "Oh, the city of Chicago, the entire city's looking for your ass." And he's just standing there. She's like, because somebody thought they were grown and decided to go jump on some people. I'm not going to help you with this, which doesn't solve the problem because I don't know what does solve the problem. But like I said, at least the parent, the mother, and the kids are out of the situation. But what is going to be the legal ramifications for all of this? What is going to happen with these kids? I do feel these children need to be brought in. And what gets me is the girl who apologized before, her mom went in that diatribe, like, "Oh, she's an AB student. She's a captain of the cheerleading squad. She was peer pressured." I'm like, hold up. People who are captain of cheerleading squads, football teams, basketball teams, these are people who do not get peer pressured. You know why? They're leaders. So I don't think that girl got peer pressured into anything. I think now that I've seen everything, I think that girl crying, she was crying because she got caught. Any of these kids, if we see any tears out of any of these kids, it's because they got caught. Simple. That's it. They got caught. And I'm tired. I mean, humanity has gone downhill so badly. I mean, forget about, their behavior is awful. Test scores are terrible. I mean, we've got people going into college who can't even do middle school math. What is that about? A lot of kids can't even freaking read. What is that about? Our kids are getting dumber and dumber and dumber, and this should not be the way. This should not be the way. Take away the video games, take away the tablets, the phones, the social media, make them focus. But nobody wants to do that because it's all about instant gratification. People, it's like Nobody even talks to each other anymore because of the instant gratification that electronic devices give us. It's bad. It's so bad. And it's this whole thing has made the rounds with other, podcasters, like Charlemagne the God even made a comment saying this is unbelievable that he couldn't get over this. Um, Jason Whitlock did a thing, and they, of course, they wanna blame this whole situation on these kids not having fathers. I can't answer to that. I had a dad, but my dad worked all the time, so it wasn't like he was around all the time, but I knew not to screw up like this. I was married for 22 years up until my husband died. My kid's dad was always around. Well, he was here, he musician, he traveled, but there's no way in hell my kids would have done something like this without him going the hell off on them. you know? If one of my kids was at one of those kids on that video, I would have turned them into the police myself. There's no way. I would have looked at myself as a failure as a parent if my kid did something like that. Because there's something I did wrong for them to think that it was okay to do something like that. And that's how I feel about that. I did something wrong. So, hopefully some of these parents are feeling the guilt of what their child did, because not only did they embarrass themselves, the kids, they've embarrassed their families, they've embarrassed their school, they've embarrassed their town, their city, the rest of their relatives. They're an embarrassment to the human race. Just put it out there. And it's not just kids in Chicago. I mean, there's kids all over this damn country behaving in this manner. And the question is, why? Is nobody issuing discipline in the home? Is there nobody doing that anymore? Because this is getting downright ridiculous. And it scares the hell out of me. It really does. It really does, because there's no empathy, there's no sympathy, there's no caring, there's no anybody thinking of cause and effect. I mean, I had one person tell me, they're like, "Oh, I can't talk." Not me, but, like, the person who's talking said they can't talk about the situation because they felt they did something equally as bad when they were kids. They were, like, throwing, eggs at cars, and they threw rocks over bridges, which is really bad. And I asked them, I said, "Were you hoping to hurt somebody?" He's like, "No, we were just being stupid and not even thinking about where that rock landed, and, and, cars would swerve, and we thought it was funny." Not thinking that when they're swerving, they're gonna cause an accident, or if they had a big enough rock and went through the windshield, could hit somebody in the head and kill them. They weren't thinking like that. I no, I'm not justifying what they did, because that's very, very bad, but it's insanely bad. But these kids went into this fight knowing, when I kick you, when I punch you, when I pull you to the ground and stomp on you, I'm trying to hurt you. I'm going into this with the intent to hurt you. That's what I'm saying. So people are crazy. Kids are really crazy. And I'm terrified to be around any juvenile at this point, because how do I know they're not going to stab me or stab somebody else because it's Tuesday and they freaking feel like it? I mean, this is where we're at today. It's scary, because you've got kids raising kids. Everybody's acting childish. Their parents are acting childish. These kids are acting childish, but their kids are supposed to act childish. But the parents are not supposed to be childish. They're supposed to be parents. They're supposed to, draw that line in the sand and just make them sit and say, "Be quiet." And you don't get things because you're acting incredibly horrible. This is what you do. I am proud to say, of my 3 children, not a single one of them was ever an issue in school. Not a single one of them. My oldest child is autistic, and he had his moments of being uncooperative, but he was never a discipline problem. In fact, we actually had people come at us thinking we were actually too hard on him. But our philosophy was, "Yeah, you're autistic, but you still have to behave." There was a level of behavior he had to try to meet. Is he gonna meet it every day? No, but he had to try. Simple as that. That is why my kids, I never got a call from the principal saying, "Hey, we got a problem." I never got that call. Not from any of them. And they're all grown up. They're adults with lives and jobs, and they're living their life and doing what they're they're just doing life, you know? Never would I ever see them in the street brawling with other people. Never would I see them jumping somebody and kicking the crap out of them. Never would I see them on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, cussing out somebody, calling them a hoe or whatever. None of them would do any of that crap. None of them, because that is not how they were raised to behave. Never. So, yeah, like I said, I'm at a loss. So I am gonna hop off here. But just know the mom and the kids, good things are coming to them. I just wonder how many other victims of these kids there is out there, because like I said, we know of one other one. I would like to know how many other ones there are. That's what I would like to know. And I'm sure coming days we'll probably hear of more. So I'm gonna hop off here, everybody. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and you know, do your best to raise your kids better, if you've got young ones. Look at this as a cautionary tale about how not to raise children. And if your kids are starting to go down this path, do what you can to stop them, because it's not going to go anywhere good. Because one thing I will say for certain, any one of these kids, they walk up to the wrong adult, they could get killed, because people are not going to deal with this crap anymore. They don't care if it's a 10-year-old boy or 80-year-old man, they don't care. You walk up to somebody on the wrong day, it could be the last time you walk. That's true talk right there. All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. Be weird, be rude, be safe. Bye.